What is up, everybody? Um, Today I'm going to be doing my first ever Ecamm Live 101. And what I mean by 101, I mean just going over the basics of getting started, getting it open, not feeling overwhelmed with what you're looking at. And I thought, what best way to do so than starting off scratch and using the shittiest webcam I have, which is my MacBook Pro webcam. It's crazy that Macs have gotten this far, and this is still what our webcams look like. Um, but yeah, nonetheless, I know I've been gone for quite a while. Rather than recording another video of telling you what I'm gonna do, I'd rather just do it. And maybe an update video might come later in the future. But for now, I'm planning to do this 101 series weekly. Um, and that's the bar. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna hit this fancy button that shows me the experience that you guys would potentially be seeing if you opened Ecamm for the first time. It can be very overwhelming. There are a lot of small windows everywhere, and this is probably one of my biggest gripes with Ecamm till today. It's just the fact that it's not similar to any other app on your computer. Um, like most apps you open are all contained in one window. So yes, when this opens up and windows start flying open, it can be overwhelming. But that said, I think the best place to start, and hopefully I have my settings. Oh, I don't even have my settings, I think. So let me change my settings real quick. Screen sharing, mouse cursor. I want my mouse to be gigantic. Okay, cool. All right, now I can X that out. And why isn't my mouse gigantic? Okay, well, let me see if I exit it, come back in. Mouse is still not gigantic. Okay, gonna log that bug. But anyways, so getting started. When it comes to Ecamm, looking at this UI, what you're seeing here, what you're greeted with immediately is your preview. This is your video preview where you will see all of your cameras. They have something called like A, B, C, D cameras, which is a really powerful feature that I can teach later on. But for now, just on all, this shows you all of the cameras that you have in your connected to your computer right now, as well as the guests. So right now you're seeing my FaceTime, but you're also seeing two cool features, which is just a part of Apple ecosystem. I have access to my iPad and to my iPhone camera as well. And actually, we'll switch over to that in a little bit. But first, let's go over the thing. So yeah, this is your main window where you have kind of top level down of everything. And these windows will start to trigger based on these call to actions on the far right side here. So you have like your camera switcher down here, which shows you all your scenes. This is just a bigger UI of what you're seeing right here. And you can make these windows big. Some of them are flexible in different ways. Some of them have max limits. You'll play around with them, like for instance, like the sound levels here. It doesn't allow me to like adjust it at all size wise. It just stays still. But scenes and things can get as big as like covering the whole thing. So yeah, let me double click that to get back over here. One thing I'll say is like a good place to start when opening up your Ecamm, going to window and hitting arrange all windows, and that'll bring everything to the front. And that really helps kind of like get everything that you're supposed to be seeing on one screen, because sometimes you may have a triple display setup like I'm looking at right now, and it can just be, very daunting. So yeah, continuing the tour. We started with our camera switch over here. We also have our overlays over here where you have three different levels where you can show in all scenes, show in a current scene, or show in the background. What we're seeing here is one current scene, and let's move up to our scenes. This is the scene that we're on. It's highlighted here. It's called the talking head shot. What else? We have our sound levels. We have our sound effects. We have what Ecamm calls interview mode, which is where you can bring other people in. But now Ecamm also has a new live functionality with Zoom, where you can bring people in from a Zoom chat, which is super sick. I have not played with it in person yet, but from what I hear, it is pretty dope. You also have access to their camera feeds, and you can play with their camera feeds, record them locally with audio. It's sick. Here you have your camera effects. In this case, I do have control of my FaceTime camera that you're looking at right now. Here you can do cool things like zooming and panning, so I can crop in on my screen here, move up to my face if I wanted to, then uncheck that to see what it looks like without it. I'll get into a feature of that later. Oh man, I totally forgot to do one thing, which is add a timer. I didn't want to be doing this for that long. I know, tutorials are only good when they're short. And being I am building the plane while I'm flying it, what better way to do that than, yeah, add a timer and hold myself accountable. So I am looking for my font right now, which is Product Sans, bold. I'm going to edit the background. I want the background to be our red. That's my red. I want the text to be our white. Cool. I'm going to close that. I want, if I'm going to edit the background, I don't think I want a border. So let's go no border. And then for the corners, I want them to be sharp on all three here, but round on the top left one. And that's just because I'm just going to have it as a tag in the bottom right hand corner. So if I add this, boom, and there we go. That is a timer overlay. I can make it as big or little as I need it to be. Another thing I gotta do here is I gotta edit the text, and I got to right align the text so it stays to the right side right here and grows only from the left side as the timer goes. But also, yeah, so we will start there. So yeah, that was the brief UI overview. Before I get into like connecting a camera, what I wanted to do was open up my settings and kind of walk through the settings. You have your general where you can play app sound, show animated reactions, show camera and switcher main window. I don't want to bore you with any of this. I think the most important one here is your stream, so that you can set your stream size as to what you need to be doing, if it's 1080, 4K, based on what you're trying to do. You also have your stream shape, so like what size of the window do you want it to be? 16:9 is the normal video, but some people also do ultra wide, some people do tall. You can set your frame rate here. You can choose whether to use high quality video or high quality audio. And this is most important down here. I think this needs even more highlight down here, which is your speed test. I have really good internet here because I'm wired in through Ethernet, but based on my settings here, all I would need is about 5.9 megabits up or down. I forget, it's up. Technically right now I have 94 up, so I have more than enough to stream in 1080 or 4K. I just know that most people are watching content nowadays on their phones, so why even stress my computer and do 4K? And also, I can leave my cameras at 4K and crop into them and afford to have more camera quality from streaming at 1080, if that makes sense to you. Because 4K is technically like double of 1080. That means you can crop into those cameras and turn one camera into multiple cameras. So yeah, you also have your video settings here, screen sharing settings, some important things, but I think most importantly is your stream settings. Once you get this good, you're good to go. So let's get, oh man, I totally forgot to set the timer to the right time. Like I said, people, building the plane while we're flying it. Let me edit this countdown, go here. Let's say we've done 10 minutes already. Let's just add 30 more to the counter. Lock this in place here. I'll come over here to my overlays and actually lock it in place here. I really wish you guys could see my cursor big, but yep, this is where I'm at right here. Okay, so now let's get into connecting a camera. So first I'm gonna drag this up here. I'm gonna make this scene a little bigger. Um, I'm going to make these previews just a little bigger too, um, just so you can see what I'm doing here. Let me make this actually as wide as my whole screen, so this helps. So this is my camera switcher down here. Right now you see that I'm on my FaceTime camera, but you also see that I have access to doing my phone camera. And I'm going to switch to this just to kind of show you what this would potentially look like compared to the other camera. So I'm going to take my phone. I've got my phone right here, and I'm going to, for proof, I'm going to hold, well, that's my little baby boy. Ain't he cute? Anyways, I am gonna hold my camera up to this. Oh no, I'm gonna hold my camera up here. Click start Chris's iPhone. Click start, and boom, that takes over. And this is a fully wireless camera, not tethered at all. Look, you can see what we're doing here. Got the infinite parallax. Oh man, look at that. The timer looking all trippy. Oh, that's so sick. Um, So yeah, this is one of the easiest ways that I love to use Ecamm, and I like to use this wireless cam here as an option for clients sometimes when it comes to like adding a little spice to like a podcast recording or like a webinar. Well, not really webinars because no one needs to see your space beyond the third wall or fourth wall, but it's good for podcast if I don't know you have like a situation where things, something's happening off camera and you want to be able to point the camera at someone who is producing or someone who's in the background, a friend that came with a guest. Um, the limits are like you're only limited by your imagination as to how you can utilize a wireless camera like this. I used to use this as a QVC camera for a past client at some point where he would have his product on a spinner and he would be able to pick this up and point in and show the details of his product. It was really cool. So yeah, this is one way to get a camera connected to your thing. There are multiple other ways to connect your camera. We saw you can use your poopy webcam here, which you should never use. We can use our phones, which is what you're seeing me use right now. But we also have these things called capture cards. In this case, this is a Elgato Camlink capture card. Um, this thing is extremely old. I'm surprised they have not updated it yet, but it is tried and true. You will see this across, uh, it's a standard. And there are tons of copycats on Amazon that you can find for cheap. I remember this was $100 for like the longest time. It's finally like $60 now. It still has USB-A, and I have a converter from USB-A to USB-C. But yeah, I have this capture card connected via HDMI running behind here, all the way back there, all the way up to my main camera, which is a Sony A7C Gen 1. So this is from 2020 or 2021, I believe. Um, so yeah, let's show what this looks like. I'm gonna take this, bring this over here to next to my computer. I have an empty USB-C port right there next to my audio, which is coming from my Rode Wireless Pro. So if I move this couch a little to the side, get some space, and plug this in right here, boom. Don't worry about the other one. That's for a different thing I'll show you later. And then on my computer, it will ask me, hey, this accessory is connected. Do you want to allow it? Hit allow, and boom. I should get a camera feed right over here. So I'm going to put my phone down. I'm going to switch this camera feed. Going to adjust my settings on my camera just so things don't look crazy. And yeah, this is mainly what I look and sound and feel like on the live streams. This is my workhorse behind there. It's also my everyday carry camera. I use it with a 35 2.8 to capture photos of the baby. But yeah, that's basically a quick rundown of like how to connect cameras on Ecamm. Moving forward, let's talk about how we connect mics to Ecamm. So I showed you before about how I have my I can show you again my Rodecaster here via USB-C. Well, it's not my Rodecaster, my Rode Wireless Pro. And this is a cool thing you can do. You can just plug it into your computer. This is the receiver. I have the mic on my chest, lit to the transmitter in my pocket. Um, what else? Another way you can get audio into your feed is through one, you can use your camera's mic. So, like, if you have a cam link, the cam link can send out audio. So, I could use my camera's mic. If my camera had a shotgun mic on it, I could totally use that as well, have it be wireless. The only thing is, you have to be in a sound treated space, and I'm not in a sound treated space right now, so you hear the echo of my room and things like that. But yeah, there are numerous ways to bring in these things. Another way to bring in audio is via a recording device, and one that I use here, that I started out with a while ago, is the Zoom PodTrack P4. I is the Zoom PodTrack P4 here. So yeah, this is a device that allows you to plug in mics via XLR, which will give you higher quality audio, and you can bring that into your feed. You have your knobs here to control individual levels for people, ability to send power to mics, ability to mute people individually instantly, ability to trigger sound effects, ability to navigate, and also an ability to monitor everybody as well, so everyone can have their own headset and see what they sound like versus everybody else. You can adjust their sound levels as well. This is a very cheap alternative to what I use professionally, which is the Rodecaster Pro. But yeah, this is like what I believe. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like $150 now. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a new version of it too. But that said, you should be able to find this used fucking anywhere for pretty cheap. So yeah, that is going over audio. I guess we can get into like audio settings, using echo cancellation to like block out echoes. So if you're playing anything on your computer, sharing your screen, and you want to listen to that audio out loud, but also you want that sound to go to the feed, this is an important feature to turn on right here. I swear I'm going to get this mouse thing figured out, and these episodes will get better as I do this on a weekly basis. What else? What else? What else? All right, let's get into overlays. So I showed you a little brief overlay here with my timer that I set up for myself. And you probably see a logo back here on my desktop. So the one thing I love about Ecamm is that it is a WYSIWYG, and what that means is what you see is what you get. And that also means that it's drag and drop. So if I take this image right here and I drag it onto my scene, boom, it just shows up. And yeah, I can make this smaller, bigger, park this in the top right corner, and we should be good. And now, we know that this is the channel that we're on. So overlays are kind of they are the magic sauce behind Ecamm. It's the reason why you would use this versus recording locally on your camera and doing all this stuff in post. It just saves time, solves the gap, fills the middle ground, and yeah, it allows you to add spice to things. It allows you to add context to things. In this case, I'm gamifying this experience, and kind of how long I'm gonna be around for. What else can we do with overlays? So with overlays, you can also have camera overlays. So what else? I'll come over here. I'll click a camera overlay. In this case, it's gonna resort to going to my webcam over here. But if I want to click the settings icon over here, I can choose what video source I want that to be, and I can make that my iPhone. And then if I want the shape of this to be, the size, well, I think the iPhone only does wide video, so we'll do wide video here. We'll sharpen all these corners. We will, yeah, I think this is good. I will make this a little smaller, park this right here. And the only reason why this is black is because my phone is facing down. So, yeah, this is, some of the power behind overlays. Um, this is something, that you use to dress up scenes, and moving into the one of the biggest selling factors of Ecamm, which is scenes, which I have here parked up here, and you see that I'm on the scene talking head scene, is the fact that you can create multiple scenes. So I have another scene here with this camera. I'll go back to my better camera, but yeah, I have this scene here which I could treat as like a talking head shot. Then I can also just come back here and oh man, my timer just restarted. So what, and I don't know where that was before. Um, Zeke, you're watching, cool. If you could rewind and let me know when I switch my scene, what time I was at. I feel like I was at 17 minutes. But yeah, let's just redo that to like 17 minutes. Da, 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 da. Save it. Ah. Oh, that's why, because I got it locked. Uh, all right, so now I drag that back here, and yeah, that's kind of the selling point of overlays and scenes. I'm gonna leave this parked right back here. You guys can check out my wallet as it sits there. How about that? What else? Another thing you can do with overlays is you can bring in comments. So in this case, I have Zeke here chilling. Cool. I did 17 minutes, so we'll do a minute. Sure. But yeah, I have Zeke here commenting, let's go. I can also customize what these things look like, what they feel like, fonts, colors, background colors, make these things fit on brand. Let's remove this overlay here. You can also choose how overlays animate in, which is cool. So for instance, like with that camera overlay, when I trigger the eyeball on it, it just reappears. But if I go into the settings here and I choose transition, I can have it fly in from the left, the bottom, the right, top. In this case, being it's on the left side, I think it makes sense for it to come in from the left side. So now when I hide this camera, it should just slide back out from the left. Slide in, slide out. Boom. So what else? What else? What else? Um, I am working on a project. Oh wait, did I click that? Maybe I did click that. I am working on a project right now, getting ready for a podcast. So I think I wanted to go over some of the scenes that I have set up for this new show that we're getting ready to do. It's called the Love Out Loud podcast. I don't know why I have show there, but I will open up these scenes and kind of run them through with you. I'm going to pay attention to make sure that my mic doesn't mute while I'm switching with these scenes. So in this case, this is a podcast run by two friends and really talented comedians that I am connected with, Ruby and Lucy Love. And yeah, this is a podcast talking about friendship, comedy, the journey of comedy, um, and the idea of understanding that, everyone has relationships in their lives. And yeah, so just kind of showing that comedic journey that they're going to be on, and talking about daily events. So in this case, we have a scene for Lucy, which would just be a blank screen. Obviously, I think, no, I do not. I had overlays for their lower thirds. I think they're in the other scenes. But in this case, I have just the logo chilling on the top right corner there in a white silhouette. So their two talking headshots would just be those two scenes going back and forth. And then we have a side by side scene here. So yeah, this is a cool side by side scene here where I don't have the cameras, animating in, but I have the logo and their lower thirds animating in. So this is a cool way where you can have like a side by side scene. And I think one cool way for me to show you this would be me putting my face in one of these. So like, boom, I'm here, I'm centered, and then we could have a guest on the other side of the board being, just our guest. Um, so yeah, what else we have here? We have a phone screen share scene. So if I was sharing my phone screen, I would put that in the middle right here, and then my other guest could be there. We're both seeing the screen. The cool thing with Ecamm is when someone is joining your thing either wirelessly as a guest, you can choose for them to either see this experience, what you're doing here, switching, or they can just see, your camera angle. So, oh, my bad. This is the scene that they're switching. But yeah, so another one that I have here is just a normal screen share. And this is sharing what I have on my laptop screen here to the right of me. And again, this could be just me on the top right and guests or, my co-host on the bottom there. So yeah, this is a powerful way of how scenes can really allow you to take a show to that next level, but also just cut down on time when it comes to creating a podcast. God damn it, my timer restarted again. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to learn my lesson. I'm going to do what I wanted to do the first time. Take this timer, which I have here, I'm going to bring it to the top half where it says show in all scenes. So now when I hop around from scene to scene, what's going on? Why isn't my scene going? Oh, when I hop around from scene to scene, this timer should stay there with me. Okay, cool. So yeah, now that we've fixed that, I will take this timer. Um, Thinking maybe I was at like 10 minutes now. I don't know. Um, like I said, people, building it while I'm flying it. I know goals for consistency. So let's go. Oh, well, I know how long I've been recording for. I've been recording for 27 minutes. Cool. I don't need a timer. You guys need a timer. Um, okay. Um, so, yeah, getting into guests and different ways to bring in a guest. So, Ecamm has their interview mode here, which you can click here. This window pops open. When you hit the switch, it allows for interview thing to pop up. And basically, this is a link down here where you can share this with any viewer and they can basically call into your show via a web browser and give access to their webcam, their mic, and also their screen. And you can see those things here and switch to them as if they were a camera connected to your computer. Um, it's dope. It adds for a really cool, I don't know. It's a cool way to record a podcast again and save time and just know that everything coming out of this is going to be exactly what you're doing here. When you switch from scene to scene, it's all being recorded into one file, and editing it moving forward is just chopping at it and taking away. It's a subtractive edit rather than an additive edit, if that makes any sense. And some people work differently. Some people like, blank canvases where you can just add on. Some people like a giant, block of clay where they chip away at something and reveal what's inside. In this case, that's how I see producing with Ecamm. It's like, you're building that block of clay, that initial raw content, but that block of clay, imagine that block of clay, had colors in it. You get me? And like you can choose what layers and colors or levels where colors were there so that when you go to reveal the what's in there, you get me? It's already laid out there. It's all just done for you. And it's more about what didn't you want to say or what did you want to add. And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of things that people seek to do in post editing that can be done live. And what I mean by live, I mean editing live, live camera switching. Um, you don't necessarily have to be doing exactly what I'm doing here, putting yourself out there and going live. All you have to do is you know, record live and get the benefits of it. So they have the ability here to just, there would be a drop down here, basically where you'd be able to click if you want to live stream, record locally, or you know, just have this be as a webcam, because this could also just be a webcam. You could also, you know, just use this as your feed within Zoom to spice up your Zoom calls, where people are like wondering, yo, how are you doing this? Like, Zoom like barely opens on my computer because Zoom is an intensive app for some reason. But you know, you can style on people. You can switch up your scenes. You can make things dynamic. You could bring in guests. You can, you know, really have fun with things. Um, so yeah, going back to my talking head shot. One thing that I wanted to touch on, and I think I'm gonna bring my 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 overlay back in here from my phone, because I wanted to show you why I have this other camera here kind of just chilling. I'm hoping that this USB port 5 gigs is enough to show you the camera angle that I have over there. But yeah, oh, hold on. Let me make sure that this camera is even turned on. So I have this uh, cam link plugged into a wire. This wire is going all the way down here up to this camera. This camera needs to be turned on. Is it on? Boom. Okay. All right, so I'll take this and plug this into my CalDigit here, which is just a USB hub. Oh, my bad. Trying to do this one-handed is tough. All right, there we go. So that's in there. And hopefully my feed should pop up right down here. And what I was fearing is exactly happening. And I don't think that this port here is enough juice to run that camera from a cam link. And this is one of my biggest downfalls with the cam links, is that they're super power hungry, and it requires your computer having a lot of beef when it comes to your inputs and outputs. So I'm going to switch around a wire here. This might result in me losing my preview. Oh, what did I? Alrighty, let's see if this is back up. Alrighty. So my sidecar display turned off, which means I can't see a preview of what I'm doing anymore, but I see that I am still in live demo mode. Seems like things have gotten a little choppy, and again, this is because cam links are very power hungry. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to run this feed over here is because I wanted to show you one powerful feature that I love about Ecamm, which is the ability to turn one camera into a multi-camera shoot. So over there, I have, and I'm gonna just change this over to this camera here. Over there, I have a quick little podcast booth set up where I have these little figurine guys that I will use to start creating tutorials. And basically, I have them set up there as like a fake podcast. They're a four-person podcast. They all have mics. Let's actually, you know, trigger that camera, and then I will do myself as a picture-in-picture on this bottom left. Cool. All right, let's do that. So as you see here, yeah, it's a nice little setup. They're all four in frame. I think the most important thing when it comes to turning one camera into a multi-camera shoot is having a wide-angle lens. And I think this is one of those wide-angle lenses where it's just wide enough to make things work. I actually might want to punch in just a teeny bit. Let me see. I think that is great right there. Okay, so how I turn one camera into a multi-camera shoot is in the camera switcher itself down here. So I'm gonna exit this menu. I have my camera switcher down here, and like I told you, they have this A and B camera switcher. So when I click this, it brings up um, cameras that are broken down in alphabetical order. And what this does is it allows you to create scenes where, you can dedicate a camera to always be in a certain position, and it's camera A. And rather than, because sometimes when you unplug cameras and plug cameras back in, they'll show up in different orders in your camera layers. And what you thought was the right camera in the right spot, when you plug it into a new port, might just mess up all your orders. But if in your designs you had it so that camera A was always there, all you would have to do is come to camera A and change the feed here, and everywhere where camera A is, it will automatically switch to the new camera that you assign to it. Hopefully that makes sense. I know it can be a lot. But through using this is how this is how you get a multi-camera shoot out of a single camera. So let's say I have, I want to turn that one camera into 4 separate cameras. So what I'll do is I'll come here, camera A, and I'll punch in. And what I'll do is my settings is I'll come over here in the camera effects. I'll click this. I'll go to camera A, open this up, and on camera A itself, and this isn't changing anything with switching to that other feed. Like if I go to the other feed, it stays exactly the same. So this isn't going to change what you're seeing here, but on the feed currently. But it will change when I switch to it. So I shift camera A, go to zoom and pan. I click that, and then I zoom and pan in. Remember, look, it's not budging here, but if I pan over to the left side here, boom, we now have a zoomed in camera. And now if I click that feed over here, boom, we got one. So let me come over here, have this one be CamLink 4K2, and now I'm going to go to B, and I'm going to zoom that all the way in. Boom, cool. Now I'm gonna go to camera C, and I'm going to, again, boom, click this in, going to zoom all the way in, come to the far right here, and boom. Now we have a 3-camera shoot. And you know what? Let's just go back to just the way that it was. Oh, 1, 2. Boom. Now we have a multi-camera shoot out of just that one camera angle where I can zoom into this guest. Cool. That person's talking. Cool. Now these two guys are talking. Cool. Now this person's talking. Cool. Back to this person. Oh, wait. Now they're all talking. They're all arguing. Again. And when you record this file, like, you can record these separate angles zoomed in as their own camera files on top of the recorded footage. All right. So I see we're out of time. I feel like I got enough out. I feel accomplished. It's going to get better. This is just a drop in a bucket. And yeah, that said, I hope, you learned something from this. I hope you feel like you got some value. And if you did, please give a thumbs up, share this with, someone who is on their Ecamm journey and wants to just take things step by step. My goal is to be as approachable as possible when recording this. So, yeah, with all that said, I will leave you guys and see you. Let me go back to my all. Switch here, hide this overlay, hide this timer, and bid you all a farewell. I hope, no, I will see you next Monday. Still trying to play around with times. It might be 1 hour earlier just so that I'm a little friendlier towards the East Coast and just on the back half of the day. But yeah, you can expect something like this every Monday, and I will be going over the basics, getting better at describing the basics, and getting better at describing, some inner detail things, some little tidbits there. Um, and yeah, see you next one. Bye, everybody.